Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. My dear friends, today we are going to study vocative particle ya. How to use vocative particle ya. Before studying anything about this, first we will study the terminologies related to it. First terminology, nida'un. It is a noun and its meaning is calling or addressing. Next terminology is harfun nida, means vocative particle or particle of addressing, particle used to address someone. Next is al-munada. It is the word or a noun to which the harfun nida, means the vocative particle, is attached or prefixed. We will see the example. Ya hamidu, ya waladu. Now here we see that in normal condition every noun ends with tanween bidhamma, but when harfun nida comes in front of it, then at that point of time the noun will end with single dhamma. Ya hamidu, ya waladu. See the signs. Now we see that if al-munada is singular and it is not mudaf, it is not the part of murakkabun idhafiyun, then there will be one dhamma at the last letter. What if we have to use the vocative particle in front of murakkabun idhafiyun? Then at that point of time the first part, means the mudaf, will end with single fatha. Example, ya qabdallah. Now here qabdullahi is mudaf and mudaf ilayhi, but when the vocative particle ya comes in front of this types of murakkabun idhafiyun, then the first word, means the mudaf, ends with single fatha. Here, ya sayyadan nas. Next, what if al comes in the noun? When we have to use the vocative particle ya in front of the noun which has al in it, then for masculine we have to add one particle, and that is ayyuha. And if the noun is feminine, then we have to add other particle ayyatuha after ya and before the noun. Example, ya ayyuhar rajulu. Example for masculine, O man. And next, ya ayyatuhal ibnatu, O girl. Now we observe that here in this case it is a proper noun, so there is no question of the noun being indefinite or definite. Here it is definite itself. But here in this case, waladun, the noun waladun is indefinite noun, ismun nakiratun. But when ya or the vocative particle comes in front of the indefinite noun, then that noun also becomes definite. In lesson number 5, there are two words which start with hamzatul wasl. As we have studied earlier, there are two types of hamzas, hamzatul wasl and Hamzatul Qata'a. Now Hamzatul Qata'a has to be pronounced wherever it comes, whether it comes in the beginning of the sentence, in the middle of the sentence, or at the end of the sentence. It means the word which starts with Hamzatul Qata'a. Now that's different for the words starting with Hamzatul Wasl. The words starting with Hamzatul Wasl, these two words, when these words come at the beginning of the sentence, then their Hamza will be pronounced Ismun Ibnun. But when these words come in the middle of the sentence or at the end of the sentence, then these Hamzas of these words will get dropped in pronunciation. When these words will come in the middle or at the end of the sentence, then we won't pronounce the Hamza of these words. So let's see the examples. Ismul waladi Bilalun, Wasmul binti Aminah. Now see the difference. As here the sentence is beginning, so Hamza will be pronounced Ismu. But here this word comes in the middle of the sentence, so while pronunciation this Hamza will be dropped, so it will be pronounced as Wasmul binti. Same here for the word Ibnu. Ibnul mudarrisi tabibun wabnul imami tajirun. At the beginning we will pronounce, and in the middle it will get dropped in pronunciation. Ibnu wabnu. Ayna ibnu Hamidin. As Ibnu is appearing in the middle, this Hamza won't get pronounced. Hope you all got the concepts of lesson number 5. Here we end the grammatical concepts of lesson number 5. In the next video we will start the exercises of this lesson, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.